We are joined now by the head coach of the Springfield Volleyball team, Angela Jones. Coach, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Anthony, for having me. It's a pleasure.
And when we talk Springfield Volleyball, a team that was pretty young last year, and I talked to you a lot last year, felt like you were gearing up for this year. You were just trying to get those kids experience and felt like uh, you were going to be paid off going through the growing pains of last season. Talk about what the expectations are now that this season has come. The
Yeah,
season has come.
Anthony, you hit it there. We definitely had some growing pains last year. We had come off of two really great seasons, and we were young, and we knew that. We knew we lost a lot the last couple years, and so we were growing, and things didn't quite go the way we planned. But needless to say, we do have a young group back this year. We are strong. We are excited. I do not have any seniors, Anthony, which I tell people, and they're like, "What?" And I said, "Yeah, but I have a lot of juniors." So 5 returning letter winners. So we're getting geared up and ready.
And when you talk about no seniors, but I imagine the legacy of some of the seniors that graduated last year can be felt this year when the juniors know how to lead because of the seniors that were there last year, like Carly Bacon and some of the others. Talk about how important those leadership skills were last year to teaching the kids that are going to have to lead this year how to lead.
COVID was such an insane time for everybody. And so I think that really changed a lot of things with our program. And it changed a lot of things, they think, overall with the demeanor, and just everything seemed out of sorts. These juniors had, 2 seniors last year, Carly Bacon and Mackenzie Clem to look upon. But what this junior class is really blessed with having is the seniors prior to that also. We had a real strong set with Lauren Ranelli, Lindsay Smith, and Jenny Stitzel. And, those girls, along with, just a little bit of experience from the girls last year, I think really, really shaped them to be able to, as juniors, they're going to have to step up and take that role as a leadership. So I think they've had some, and all of my athletes really are multi-sport people. So they have that leadership capability, or they have other leaders to look up to. Carly was a leader maybe on the softball field also that my girls got to see, or, maybe in basketball. I know they were young, but, I got Jacey Mullen and Madi Lesnak and some of my other girls playing basketball. So they've seen that in another capacity as well.
And when you talk about Springfield Volleyball, the program as a whole is so proud, so much historic success. And when you have a season like last year that maybe wasn't bad by any standards, but maybe to Springfield standards, a down year, what's it like knowing that the expectations are still there, the standards still there, the kids understand that, and you're not going to have down years for too long?
Right. Having to fill Bill Knight's shoes, I knew right off the bat was going to be tough. Bill himself is a volleyball legacy in the state of Ohio by coaching standards, and being an athlete of his myself. I know the legacy at Springfield. Being a grad, I pride myself on that. You've seen firsthand in YSN and all the communities, the support that Springfield athletics gets time and time again over the years is a blessing. And it's rare, for being a small school, no open enrollment. And we take pride in our community and in the following that we have. So for us, last year was a very down year, an uncharted water year to have such a losing record that we had. But we know it won't last long, and we are ready to turn that ship around. Coach Knight led me into a lot of great teaching points and moments, and I just would try to absorb all that I could from him before I took over. So we're ready to turn it around, like I said, and get back on track to having well over a 500 season this year.
Having played for Coach Knight and having played for this program, what kind of sense of pride does that give you when you're coaching it now and you get to put your stamp on this program? And I imagine it's a little bit an advantage or a little bit of an extra boost to be an alum and to be able to say how much you care about the program, and you're not just someone that came in and coached it and doesn't understand like the community of Springfield.
Yeah, I still take a lot of pride. And one of the things that we talk about a lot with our team is our league banners, that hang up in our gym. Every day you walk into the gym, you see those banners. And I got to tell you, Anthony, I'll go back to when I was a senior. And my assistant coach, Carrie, she played with me. We were in a little bit of a turmoil time in our district at that time. And, the year after we graduated, our district went on strike. So we were in a pay to play athletic period. And we weren't sure if we were going to have sports our senior year or not. Fast forward the story, and we weren't eligible to play in the league that year for the title. And we were good. We knew we were going to be good. And, we didn't get a league title. And so we don't see our senior year up on that banner. And we would have had it. We would have clinched the league that year. So every day you walk into the gym, and Carrie and I know that banner year is missing. That year is missing on the banner. So that drives us. Coach Knight, being as knowledgeable as he was and a great coach that he was, it drives me. The legacy of Springfield and just being able to, carry on the tradition. And like you said, maybe for some teams, our season last year wasn't bad, but for us, it was one that we definitely want to turn the corner, forget, and move forward from.
Your senior season, that's some adversity right there to go through all that. Did that make the COVID year any easier, knowing that you've been through some adversity and you know how to handle going through that? And did that experience help you talk to your seniors last year, going through what they did their senior season?
Last year was the every day is a mystery, because we never knew walking into the gym if we were going to be told that day we were shut down or we would get a season. So we really had to live every day last year. Like, this could be your last year playing volleyball. So that was tough, something that we've never had to deal with. When I was a senior, we almost knew either we were going to have it or we weren't. And when we finally knew we were going to have sports, we just paid to play. We knew at least we were going to get our season. So last year was very different, very unique, but it certainly, I think, made every community, every athlete, every student, every teacher, every profession, I think it made everybody stronger.
Without seniors on this team, who are some of the leaders that you're going to lean on to be leaders in this team?
Yes, like I said, we have a lot of juniors, and we just had Madi Lesnak and Jacey Mullen selected as captains for us. So we are really looking forward. They, over the years, just natural. Madi just has a natural leadership, as well as Jacey. They're all around athletes. They're multi-sport athletes. They are hard workers. So they really, it just kind of comes natural to them. And Jacey's a little bit more shy than Madi. So I don't know that Jacey realizes the capacity that she holds for us, but Madi's vocal, and she's just that bubbly personality. She's infectious, her spirit. She makes a big play, you're going to know about it. I tease her, we tease about having cheerleading practice, and our volleyball players become cheerleaders when we get excited. We really want that momentum to be contagious, and Madi does that for us. I have some other juniors, that are going to step up, returning letter winners. I have Sarah Pontius. I have Gianna Pacuda, and I have, I think that's it, my returning letter winners, Madi, Sarah, Jacey. Oh, Brooke, I'm sorry. Brooke isn't a junior for me. She's a sophomore. But yeah, I think we're going to be strong and have leadership. They're not hesitating to maybe have those, have those other underclassmen. I have 5 freshmen, and one of them is going to get a lot of varsity playing time. And she also played basketball with them, and Jamaica Brungard. So, the girls are shaping up to lead and show the underclassmen the ins and outs and make them feel comfortable.
Talk a little bit about the development of volleyball in the program, and not just junior high, but the youth development, and what goes into that, and some of the things that Springfield Volleyball does to develop the young kids before they get to you as freshmen.
Volleyball is unique, actually. Volleyball is one of the programs that there isn't a whole lot with youth buildup in our community. So really, when the girls come to play volleyball in 7th and 8th grade, the only interaction they have is through gym class. We have had a youth camp since I took over the helm. But again, COVID kind of shut that down last year. This year, we were uncertain, couldn't get a date to work. So we're really at a disadvantage for that. And if you think about that disadvantage, but yet having such a strong program every year, I think speaks to Bill Knight and what he did to build up this program. I think it speaks for our athletes, our girls who want to come out and give the sport a try, not having it before, junior high. And so just trying to drum up that interest. And we are a small school. And, I know I heard you just had Justin on here the other day in soccer. So, we have to share athletes, and sometimes that gets tough. But both of us have been able to do it and find success, and we're both pretty proud and excited about that.
Justin did throw that little jab that he didn't want to lose his young players to volleyball before they got into 7th grade.
Yeah, we compete. We have some girls that I know right off the bat. I have a couple 8th graders. I know right off the bat. I just talked to them yesterday at pictures. I said, well, I know I'm going to lose you to soccer. I said, but I'm not going to lose the rest of you, am I? So and that's, you got to take it as it is. It is what it is. We never had to deal with soccer before. Right. Soccer wasn't around when I was in school, and I know the soccer program fought very hard to be where it is today. And I'm proud of Justin and the community for doing that. But it's tough.
Yeah. Well, all that aside, so many multiple sport athletes in Springfield and so much success around the whole Springfield athletic community. What's it kind of like being a part of an athletic community that, one, is successful, and two, you never really have to fight with the coaches that are in seasons ahead of you about sharing the players and having the multiple sport athletes that you do?
Yeah. Just the pride that Springfield carries, our coaches, I think are some of the best, and I can be biased and partial, but I know all of them personally. And I do think we have excellent coaching. So with that being said, having to communicate with them comes very easy. Hey, I got John Matisse now as a girls basketball coach, so we're going to share gym time with him. And he's been great to work with, coming in as a first-year coach here for us in that capacity. And, before that, it was Jimmy Schuler, and we would always work together. Now it's, Jeff Brink and the boys basketball team, or before that, Coach French or Fender. So we've always just had a good relationship within our coaches and our coaching community. And I think that's fostered, by just having the success and the ease of being able to approach one another to make it work, because we all want that for each other.
Head coaches always get the lights shined on them. They always get the interviews, but I know they wouldn't be anywhere without the assistants and the people that hold them up. Talk a little bit about your assistants, the staff, the coaches that help build this program up, and what they bring to Springfield volleyball.
Yeah. So like I mentioned earlier, my sidekick is Carrie Brungard. Her and I went to school together. We've actually been personal, close best friends since junior high. And so having her by my side in this capacity is fantastic. Carrie knows my next thought. She knows to finish my sentences. She knows right where I'm going if I mutter 2 words. And so to have somebody that strong, who also knows the game, Carrie played as well. Her sisters played. Her sister Katie played, I think, at Westminster. So there's a lot of volleyball in our blood. And anything I would ask of Carrie, she's great. She shows up in between trying to get to her boys' games and practices, and her daughters, so she's pulled in a lot of directions, but she's always there. She's doing a great job getting the JV girls ready for, the varsity program. And below us, then we have our junior high coaches, and I have my niece, Larissa Santangelo, stepping in this year for 8th grade. I'm really excited about that. Larissa played for Bill as well, and she also played at Seton Hill. She played 4 years in college. So she's going to bring a level of expertise and experience to that group of girls that will be very beneficial for us next year. And in the 7th grade role, I have Ashley Avnet. Ashley also played under Bill and his legacy. And her and I coached together a while back when I started in junior high. And, when I lost my 2 junior high coaches this year, I went right to them, and they both jumped at the opportunity and are thrilled to be a part of the program.
When we talk about volleyball, we talk about the growth of it in the area. Last decade, the growth of JO volleyball, the growth of club players, and we see the growth of this volleyball interest in the area. From your perspective, how much has volleyball really grown in the last decade, and not just in Springfield, but in the area as a whole? We see a lot more competitive volleyball, a lot more very successful programs in the area than we may have used to.
Yeah, we have. And that's, part and due to the club and the, the JO volleyball aspect. It was around when I played, but no one really played JO, and it's just been building and building, and it gets more and more popular. Over the last, I'd say, 10 years, it's really, really grown. Kids have the opportunity to play in some great clubs in the area. It does get a little hard. Like I said before, we have multi-sport athletes. So some of these girls, and I'm okay with it. So, volleyball's not their first love, and that's okay. It gives their muscles a chance to work something different. So their same muscles aren't being overused. And as long as they're, staying active and doing something and getting touches on a ball, I think it's beneficial. Our Olympic team, we just nailed it in volleyball, men's, women's, beach, indoor, outdoor. I mean, we did an awesome job. So I think that's going to inspire, a lot of the youth, and hopefully we can just keep building upon that and maybe bring some youth camps back here at Springfield.
You said it, you have a lot of players that maybe volleyball is not their first love, but what I love about watching your team is, even though, the Madi Lesnak softball, we know that she's softball first, but none of those players kind of, put volleyball aside. Like when it's volleyball season, it's volleyball season. Talk about kind of that and how proud you are as a coach to know that even though the players might not have volleyball as their first love, when it's volleyball season, it's all about volleyball, and they really give you their all. They don't think of it as just a workout.
No, I mean, if I didn't tell you that these girls weren't, volleyball wasn't their first love, you would never know. They are athletes in and out. They are friends. This group is so unique and so close, and we haven't had that type of tight-knit family feel on our program for a while. So it just comes very natural to them. And it's almost like they get on that floor, and that competitive edge inside of them is like a switch, and it turns on and they just go. You're right. It doesn't matter that it's volleyball. And for Madi, it's not softball, or for Jacey that it's not basketball, and that's okay. And some of my girls, volleyball is their first love, and they've played club, and I have players with, Brooke and Gianna, Sammy McKim. She's going to play libero for me. She's an infectious, hard-working personality that I'm excited to see on the floor. Their humor, their wit, they get on the floor and it's lights out. They play hard.
Take us through a typical Springfield volleyball practice, what it looks like, what kind of things you put your players through in the gym, especially in the summer when you get a lot of practices.
Yeah, well, lately it's been rough. We're one of the only schools that don't have air conditioning. So our girls are, dying. Yesterday we had East Palestine come in for a scrimmage, and they were hurting because we don't have air. And my girls always want long sleeve uniforms. They said, girls, we're never going to get long sleeves. Until we get air conditioning, we will never get long sleeves. But a typical day, we do some conditioning. We try to get a lot of touches on the ball, try to get a lot of movement. Sometimes you play all these games that get the girls talking and moving, and they don't realize that they're doing something for volleyball. And I think that's important. I think it's important for the girls to have fun. I think it's important for the girls to stick together as a group. And, we go through some game-like situations. We go through a lot of out-of-system things because, in the real world, volleyball doesn't always look as easy as the Olympians make it look. So, you do some things to get your team ready for whatever may come their way.
Yeah, it's funny that you bring up the hot gym because we had Lakeview players on earlier today, and that's another gym that does not have AC in it. What kind of a home court advantage does that give you guys? I mean, I'm sure you've seen a lot of teams come in, they're so used to air conditioning, and then by the third or fourth set, they're sweating and they're not moving as fast. And I'm sure it's a legitimate home court advantage to have, being used to playing in no air conditioning and having teams come in that maybe aren't.
Yeah, it is. It's a home field advantage, no doubt. Not having the air, we're sort of used to it. It's like a hot yoga workout all in one, every practice that we have right now in this summer. We take time off. This year was unique. We took a lot of time off in July. Our gym usually gets resurfaced, and we usually utilize camps in July. And the camps that we've gone to in the past weren't running because of COVID stipulations still. So July was an off month for us, but coming back in August, having this heat that we've had lately, our girls are ready. Try to remind them to stay hydrated. But you see another team walk in, and I wouldn't even say Anthony after the third set. It's like after that first set, they're hurting, and a lot of them have long sleeves. And so I guess I just want to tell you guys, be hydrated when you come to our place, because right now, early in the year, it's hot. It's really hot in there.
I'm sure when you see a team come into your gym with long sleeves, you just go, oh boy, oh boy.
Well, the competitive edge in me is like, hey, they might wear down a little faster than normal, so that's not bad. But no,
on the flip side,
everybody's safe.
On the flip side, what's it like going to gyms that do have air conditioning and getting to kind of it's got to feel even better for you guys because you're in it the whole season. So when you go to gyms that have air conditioning, it's got to feel so good.
Right. So tonight we actually scrimmage at West Branch in a scrimmage, and I'm excited because they have air conditioning. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, whew, that'll be nice on a day like today where the heat index is ridiculous. But it's funny. My assistant Carrie will call me or she'll text me. She'll be like, "Hey, does this gym have air? I can't remember." I'm like, "Yes, bring a long sleeve," because we're cold sitting on the bench sometimes, and then we warm up and take it off, that sweatshirt off or whatever. But it's nice, especially earlier in the year, if you have a gym that has air, to be on the road.
One of the things unique to volleyball is you guys are playing 3-4 games a week. Not a lot of time to get into the gym between games. I mean, you might get 2 practices a week if you're lucky sometimes. What's it like trying to make adjustments when the next day you have a game and you try to tell them, hey, we got to make this adjustment, but there's really no gym time to go in and physically make it. So what's that kind of like as a volleyball coach?
Yeah, I would definitely say that's one of the hardest aspects. And usually before school even starts, and we're fortunate we don't start school until after Labor Day. So by the time school starts, we usually have sometimes 5 to 8 matches, depending if we have a quad or a try or something thrown in there too. So it's unique. It's difficult. It poses our problems. Try to take notes, and talk about some things. We film our games, and then, we have our film. We use Huddle, and so we get it broke down. And so if I can get something back in time and we send it to the, girls, or I print it, and I talk to them about it before, maybe on the bus, or sometimes those games that don't go as well as they planned, you just got to leave them go and just say, hey, yesterday was yesterday. Today's a new day. So you just move forward and go from there.
And you bring up the Huddle and the technology that you guys are able to utilize. How much easier does that make it compared to a life before that? And you just had to really make adjustments based on handwritten notes.
Yeah. Well, I say, I don't know how Coach Knight did it, because not having Huddle, and he would watch the film and he would sit there and break down film. And I honestly, I don't know how. The technology that's come just, even since I've started coaching with Bill, has come a long way, and it just continues to get better and gives each team that, little bit of an edge, but also coaches a little chance to reflect and do some other things and know that part's taken care of. So it's great. I mean, it's great. It breaks down a lot of things for us offensively, defensively, gives us things to look at. And so we're going to utilize that a lot this year.
Other thing that we know is so important in volleyball is momentum, and knock on wood, you're going to get your crowd back, and you guys travel so well as a fan base. What's it going to be like to finally get to feed into that crowd energy again this year and be able to use the crowd and the community support that you get as energy and momentum during matches?
Yeah, it's great, Anthony. I mean, I again, Carrie's my assistant's my best friend, so I've been there through the football games, and just saying it now, I'm still getting the chills. But being able to have our fans back in our gym, it was very eerie last year. Not having a lot of people, and when volleyball started, our athletic department was going nuts trying to figure out, because every day was changing. So we weren't sure of anything, and didn't have a fan base. So it was very, again, eerie and odd. So to be able to have fans, hopefully some of the football players, they'll come in after practice and games, and they're a great cheering section for us there in the corner. So to be able to hopefully have some of that back and give those girls that momentum and boost, because we tell our girls all the time, they're not playing for us. They're not playing for their parents. They're playing for themselves, but most importantly, the girl next to them. And so for these girls to be able to have each other to lean on, and then have that, community and rallying support behind them, I think will be beneficial this year.
Let's talk about your schedule when you open up, and some of the games that Springfield fans should really circle as must-see opportunities.
Yeah, so we open up on August 23rd with Girard, and that's going to be a good one. Phil Walters is back coaching there, so that's always a great non-league game that we open up with. Our league, it's so up and down. It seems we come off of a very strong last couple years in our league. So we're looking to sort of take the ropes there and rise up quickly, hopefully. Western Reserve, Jen always does a good job getting her girls prepared. We faced Columbiana in a summer league at Camel, and Jen's got a nice group of girls, a lot of experience. So the Columbiana match later in the year will be a great one for us. get us ready for tournaments. So that's going to be a great one to look forward to. But we're just excited again to be back in and get going full swing and see what we can do in the gym.
And you guys are in a very competitive league. I mean, Western Reserve up on the rise. Jackson Milton's up on the rise. We talked to their new volleyball coach earlier on Running Point, and then obviously Middle Ridge is sitting there looming as well. What's it like going through this conference, and how much it prepares you for tournament time when it comes around?
Yeah, it is. It's strong. Sometimes our league isn't strong in other things, but for volleyball, it's a strong league, and they keep us competitive. You have a game where you think, okay, tomorrow might be a little easier. And that's not the case. You got somebody knocking on your door. You got people coming at you. And we did lose a lot the last couple of years, and we're ready to get back on top. And so we know that everybody's coming for us. Springfield's got that legacy, like you said, and we just want to show up and play hard and play our best every day and hopefully, get the results that we want and work hard for.
All right, Coach, thank you so much for joining us today. It was great to hear from you. We look forward to covering your team this season, and we'll talk to you again real soon as the season gets going.
Yeah, Anthony, thanks so much. And for YSN, thanks for all the coverage you guys give for all of us.